Hello, folks. I'm OdinSpack, and welcome back to 33 years and counting of my favorite games. This is part 28, the year 1995. I don't really have a lot of fun pre-intro stuff before the honorable mentions here, so let's just get right into it. I got two honorable mentions for you today, starting with Mega Man 7 on the Super Nintendo. I'm giving this one an honorable mention just for how much I enjoyed it and for how much I feel like it doesn't get talked about as being like one that people enjoy. So this isn't like I'm not really trying to do this as like, oh, well, most people don't like this game, but I did. But when I played, this is years ago now. This is probably at least 10 years ago, I think now. I was streaming all of the Mega Man games that were in the Mega Man Legacy, not Mega Man Legacy Collection, that's the newest one. Mega Man Anniversary Collection. That's it. That's the one on the GameCube. And so that one has Mega Man's 1 through 8 and then it has the two arcade fighters in it. So I played through all of them in order and I had at that time I had only beaten like when I originally played through all of these, I had only beaten 2 and I think 3. So I hadn't played like Mega Man 1, I hadn't played Mega Man's 4 through 8. I guess I had played 9 and 10 at this point, so I guess I'd played those two. But they're not on this disc, this Anniversary Collection disc, so I guess that's not important. But anyway, I was really shocked about how much I enjoyed Mega Man 7. That at that time I was like, you know what, this might be my favorite Mega Man game that I've played, which is a pretty bold statement. I think looking back on it now, I wouldn't say that. I think I just still enjoy 2 more. Even 9, which I haven't played in a long time, I remember really enjoying as well. I just need to play more classic Mega Man games. But anytime I go back, I'm just like, I'll just play Mega Man 2 again. But I feel like I need to give them more time. Like I put a lot of time into Mega Man X, like the Super Nintendo series. I play those a lot. Um, but the NES Mega Man games I don't play as much. And Mega Man 7 is a Super Nintendo game, so it's not an NES Mega Man game. But I'm just surprised at how much I did enjoy it. Um, a lot more than I thought I was going to. I really enjoyed how difficult it was. It was very difficult. The final boss is insanely hard, but it was a lot of fun. So I just want to give it its props because it was a solid Mega Man game. And then my other honorable mention for 95 is going to go to Warcraft 2: Tides of Darkness. This is on PC. This was, I think this was my first experience playing. Well, I don't know. I can't remember when Command and Conquer came out. Now, I think it may have been before Warcraft 2, but I don't know if I played it before this or not. Well, I mean, it's it's probably the RTS that I enjoyed playing the most, I would say, of the ones I did play. And I played this one a lot growing up. I never did finish it because it got really, really hard. Um, but I enjoyed it a lot. I love the music in this game. Going back, like the soundtrack for this game is fantastic. I love all the comedic units, and you click on them a whole bunch, and they say funny lines. I think I would get a better appreciation for this playing it now knowing kind of how RTS games work. But even as a kid, I really did enjoy this one. I remember uh, around the time I started playing Diablo 2, I actually started playing this game online, and I got stomped. I got destroyed online. I was not good whatsoever, but it was still a lot of fun. I enjoyed getting destroyed online. It was still hilarious, but it was really cool to play Warcraft 2, and yeah, so it was a fun game. So I just want to give it an honorable mention. I feel like I want to diversify my portfolio a little bit here. So all right, well that's my honorable mentions for 95. Let's go into the top three, starting with my bronze medal, and that's going to go to Donkey Kong Country 2: Diddy's Kong Quest on the Super Nintendo. Um, this one is probably um well, is it my favorite of the SNES trilogy? If you would have asked me this years ago, I would have said that for sure because I think it's really good with how it balances collectibles in the game. I think this game has like the right amount of collectibles for a 2D platformer. It's one where if you want to like truly beat it, you have to get everything. Well, almost, almost everything. Um, you have to get most of everything to truly beat the game. But I think it's just a fantastic platformer. The music is amazing, much like its predecessor. Um, it it's you play as Diddy as the starring role. Dixie Kong is introduced in this game. I think the team up moves are really cool, and I think they work really well in it. It's just a solid, difficult platformer. Um, did I already mention how good the music is? Everyone already knows about the Bramble Blast music, which for some reason the word is not the actual name of it is for some reason not coming to my mind right now because I'm recording, so of course I just forgot about it. I can think of aquatic ambience right now, but I can't think of what this one is actually called right now. Oh, well, that'll come to me by the end of the video probably, but DKC2 is just a really fun platformer and definitely a fun one to play with a friend, even though it's handoff co-op. It's still a lot of fun to play through with a friend. I think I've played all three of the Donkey Kong countries with co-op. And I've had a good time playing co-op on all of them. So, man, I was hoping that while I was saying that, my my brain was gonna remember the name of Sticker Brush, or is it? No, I think it's Sticker Bush Symphony. I think Sticker Brush is like Mandela Effect. It's not actually called that. I think it's Sticker Bush Symphony, but I feel like I always call it Sticker Brush Symphony because it sounds better. Anyway, I remembered it. That's it. We're not gonna talk anymore about Donkey Kong Country 2. I remember the song, so that's all that matters. It's a good game. Play it. I don't need to tell you about it. My silver medal for 95 is gonna go to Earthbound on the Super Nintendo. A little fun story with this one. I I hope I may have owned this game in an alternate universe because and I say may, I'm gonna get into it. On one of my birthdays, I really wanted to get this game, and we looked for it and we couldn't find it, and instead I ended up getting Super Mario Kart instead, which is a much more common to get game and a much less inexpensive game than Earthbound is now. But the thing is, I actually don't even own that copy of Super Mario Kart because I'm pretty sure my cousin stole a bunch of my games. I can't be for sure that it is my cousin, but I'm pretty sure that quite a few of my Super Nintendo games went missing, Super Mario Kart included. But so that's why I say I may have owned this game because if I had gotten Earthbound, then that may have gotten stolen, and then I would be super mad today. So I guess I was never meant to own it. So there you go. There's my fun story about Earthbound. It has nothing to do with the game at all. But I do own it on the Wii U Virtual Console now, so there's something. I kind of own it, and it's on the SNES Classic, so I have that too. And it's on NSO finally, but that'll go away at some point. But Earthbound, it's a quirky RPG. It's got some bopping tunes in it. It is very classic RPG styled game. Like if you like Dragon Warrior, Dragon Quest, it's of that like play style of game. Like in terms of like how it plays. Like the the aesthetic of it and charm is obviously way different because it touts itself as being like this real world RPG. Like this could be in the real world, which is like crazy because like it's really not. Like it very quickly becomes not that. Um, so they can describe it as that as they want, but after you do like the first part of the game, it's very quickly not that anymore. But it is very cool, and I love just classic grindy RPGs, and this one is just one where it's fun to go back to and just kind of play through it. Uh, it's very difficult. It's very unforgiving, especially the early parts of the game. I feel like it gets a little easier um, as you get near the end, mostly because of the rolling HP. It definitely gives you a lot more leeway in doing stuff, but in the early game, it's not very lenient at all. But if you've never played Earthbound, if you have NSO, give it a shot. You might not like it if you don't like that old style of RPG, because that's what it really is at the end of the day. But if you give it a little bit of a chance, the story it's pretty fun. So it's a good game. Let's check it out. Good soundtrack. I said like 3 times probably on every game so far. All right, my gold medal for 1995 is gonna go to Chrono Trigger on the SNES, Super Nintendo. Yeah, everything I've talked about today besides Warcraft has been Super Nintendo, but whatever. Chrono Trigger is just what a game Chrono Trigger is. This is a game that I was doing a Let's Play of, that I ended up removing from my channel because I never did finish it. I was doing the Steam port of it. There was nothing wrong with it. I just stopped doing it, and it got to a point where I'm like, I'm never going to revisit this, so I never ended up going back. So sorry if you wanted to see a completion to that. Maybe one day. It's hard for me to come back to a project after I've been gone for it for so long. But is a Chrono Trigger is a fine example of how to make an RPG. Really, it has a great theming around time travel. Its main element. It uses that obviously as like the cool hook of the game, but it's not like the most important part of the game, because the different eras that you go to kind of have like their own stories in them, or different time periods. So like, yeah, of course, time travel does affect things throughout the game, but it's not like the main part of it, as far as like what you're doing all the time. Um, and the gameplay is just super cool with like I like how dynamic they made turn-based combat. So it has like the Final Fantasy, like if you played like the SNES Final Fantasy games where it has like the bar that fills up, which technically isn't there in Final Fantasy 4 and SNES, but actually is there. It's just hidden. The ATB system, as they call it, Active Time Battle. So it has that from Final Fantasy, but so like that system is there, but your characters all have like team up attacks, which are super cool. So like your character by themselves, they only learn like so many moves in the game, but they have like a ton of more team up attacks with all the characters. And they're most of the time they're super cool. They're not always cool, but most of the time they're super cool and way cooler than any like the individual attacks. I mean, some of the individual attacks are super busted. There's definitely a game where you get super overpowered in it, but man, just seeing some of the team up attacks is just really neat. It's always neat seeing like what skills combine with other ones, to make new team up attacks. And again, I love gameplay when it comes to RPGs. Like a game's got to have good gameplay for me to be invested in the story, and this game has a great story. Um, so like it's got that going for it. Great story, one of the best soundtracks of all time, easily. For a while, I've said this game has the best soundtrack of all time. I don't know if I agree with that now, but I would definitely put it as one of the best. I mean, it could. It could. I've never really sat down and thought about what game has the best soundtrack of all time, but definitely is up there. And one of the greatest things about this game is it does not overstay its welcome. This is one of the shorter RPGs you'll play. It's not like super short, but it is a shorter RPG than a lot of the ones made in that era, and RPGs made in this era. Like it is just a shorter game, so like you get to appreciate it. You get to appreciate it more, for like the smaller amount of time that you spend in it, and that's one of the great things about it. It is such a replayable game. It does encourage that. Um, but I just love the fact that you can do all of these like different ways to play through it, and you can just play through it super fast. So um, that's really all I have to say about Chrono Trigger. It's a great game. You should play it. You can pick it up on Steam. It's probably fine on there. I played it. All right, that's gonna do it for me for 1995. I will see you next time when we talk about 1994. So until then, take care. Goodbye.